Hi everyone, and welcome back to Tiny English. We are so excited that you're here to learn with us today.
Hello, friends. It's great to see you all again. Today, we're cozying up with some headphones and our favorite playlists because we're going to talk about a super important part of learning any language, listening.
That's right. Listening is the foundation of communication, but let's be honest, sometimes it can be really challenging. Have you ever listened to an English speaker and felt like the words were just flying past you too quickly?
I've definitely been there. So, in today's Chill Learning episode, we're going to share some simple, stress-free tips to help you improve your listening skills and feel more confident when you hear English being spoken.
Our goal is to make listening practice feel fun and achievable, not like a test. And of course, we'll teach you some useful vocabulary along the way.
Before we start sharing our favorite tips, let's quickly go over a few key words that will be important in our chat. Knowing these will help you follow along.
First up, we have the phrase main idea. The main idea is the most important point or message of what someone is saying. You don't always need to understand every single word to get the main idea.
Next is the word context. The context is the situation or the other words around a new word that help you guess its meaning. It's like being a detective.
Then we have the term active listening. This isn't just hearing, it's listening with full concentration and the intention to understand.
Another great tip involves using subtitles. Subtitles are the words displayed at the bottom of the screen that match what is being said. They can be a very helpful tool.
And finally, the adjective consistent. Being consistent means doing something regularly over a period of time. Consistent practice is the secret to success in language learning.
Let's do a quick recap. Main idea, context, active listening, subtitles, and consistent.
Okay, let's talk about how we can turn listening from a challenge into one of our favorite ways to learn.
Okay, May, let's start with the biggest problem I think most learners face. You're watching an English movie or listening to a podcast, and the speakers are talking so fast. The words just become a blur of sound. What can we do about that?
That is such a common and frustrating experience. The first thing to remember is don't panic. It's completely normal. The solution is to find material that is right for your level or to use tools that can help you.
What kind of tools?
My favorite tool is the playback speed button. On platforms like YouTube, you can actually slow down the video. You can set it to 0.75x speed. This gives your brain a little more time to process the words without making the speaker sound like a robot.
That is a brilliant tip. It's like giving yourself a learning superpower. So we don't have to feel defeated by fast talkers, we can control the speed.
Exactly. Another great strategy is to start with content that is designed for language learners, like this channel, or other podcasts and YouTube channels made for A1 to B1 levels. The speakers in these usually talk a bit more slowly and clearly.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like when you're learning to swim, you start in the shallow end of the pool, not the deep end. So start with learner-friendly content and then gradually move on to faster, native-level content as you get more confident.
That's the perfect analogy. The goal is to challenge yourself a little, but not so much that you feel completely lost and want to give up.
Okay, but what happens when you're listening and you come across a word you don't know? It can be really distracting. You get stuck on that one word and miss the rest of the sentence.
That's where our next tip comes in. You have to train your brain to let it go.
Let it go? But don't I need to understand every word?
Not at all. In fact, trying to understand every single word is a trap. It's counterproductive. Your main goal when listening should be to understand the main idea. What is the general message?
So, if I'm listening to a weather report, the main idea might be, it's going to rain tomorrow. I don't need to understand the scientific term for the cloud formation.
Precisely. This is where you use the power of context. If you hear the words umbrella, wet, and clouds, you can guess that they are talking about rain, even if you miss a few other words.
So it's like putting a puzzle together. You don't need all the pieces to see what the picture is.
What a perfect way to describe it. And if there's a word that you hear repeatedly and you feel it's important, you can write it down in a notebook to look up later. But don't stop the flow of listening to look it up right away. Stay focused on the big picture.
This is so liberating. It takes so much pressure off. The goal isn't perfection, it's comprehension.
Exactly. And a fantastic tool to help with this is using subtitles, but in a smart way.
In a smart way? What do you mean? Aren't subtitles just for reading?
They can be, which is why we have to be careful. Here's my favorite method. First, watch a short video clip, maybe 2 or 3 minutes long, with English subtitles. This helps you connect the written words to the spoken sounds.
Okay, so I'm listening and reading at the same time.
Yes. Then watch the exact same clip again, but this time with the subtitles turned off. Now your brain already knows the story and the vocabulary, so you can focus purely on the sounds. You'll be amazed at how much more you understand the second time.
That sounds like a really powerful exercise. It's active, not passive. Which brings me to our next point. What is active listening?
Active listening is the difference between having the TV on in the background versus sitting down and really paying attention to it. It's about engaging your brain.
So, how can we practice active listening?
There are many fun ways. One is to listen and repeat. Listen to one sentence, pause the audio, and try to repeat the sentence out loud exactly as you heard it. This forces you to pay attention to every sound.
That sounds like the shadowing technique we talked about for speaking practice. It's great for listening too.
It is. Another great active listening task is to summarize. After listening to a short podcast or a news story, pause and try to summarize the main idea in 1 or 2 sentences, either by speaking out loud or by writing it down.
That's a great way to check if you really understood what you heard. It's a mini test for yourself.
Exactly. And the most important tip for all of these strategies is to be consistent. You will see much better results if you practice for 15 minutes every day than if you cram a 2-hour listening session once a week.
Consistent is key. It's about building a habit. Find something you genuinely enjoy listening to. It could be music, a podcast about movies, or videos about cooking. When you enjoy it, it doesn't feel like studying.
That's the ultimate goal, to make learning feel like play. When you can do that, you'll improve so much faster, and you'll have fun along the way.
I couldn't agree more. These tips are so practical and encouraging. It makes me want to go listen to something in English right now.
And we hope you're feeling motivated too. Now that we've shared our favorite tips, let's practice some of the key sentences from our chat. It's time for our listen and repeat activity. You know the drill. I'll say a sentence and you repeat it out loud. This is a wonderful form of active listening. Ready?
Let's start with this one. A great goal to have. I try to focus on the main idea.
Here is the next sentence. This is about using clues. You can guess the meaning from the context. Now, a sentence about a very useful tool. You can slow down the audio if it's too fast. Here's a phrase about a smart study method. First, I watch with subtitles, then without.
And one final, very important reminder. Consistent practice is the secret to success.
Fantastic job, everyone! Your listening skills are already getting better. Now for our interactive prompt. We've talked about how important it is to listen to things you enjoy. So our question for you is, what is your favorite type of content to listen to in English?
Is it music? Do you have a favorite English-speaking singer or band? Is it movies? Or maybe you love listening to podcasts or watching videos on YouTube.
Think about what you genuinely enjoy. For example, to practice my listening, I love listening to songs by Taylor Swift. Or, my favorite way to practice is by watching cooking shows in English. What is your go-to listening material?
And that's all the tips we have for you today. We hope this conversation has made the idea of practicing your listening skills feel a lot less scary and a lot more fun.
We talked about focusing on the main idea, using context and subtitles smartly, and the power of consistent, active listening. Remember, every time you listen, you are making progress.
If you enjoyed our chill learning chat, we would be so grateful if you would give this video a like. It's a wonderful way to support our channel and helps us know what content you love.
And if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to Tiny English and click that notification bell so you don't miss our next lesson. We love having you in our community.
Now for our question of the day, which is also a mini challenge. What is one English song, podcast, or movie you are going to listen to this week?
We want you to make a specific choice. Will you listen to a song by Ed Sheeran? Or maybe an episode of a podcast like Stuff You Should Know? Or watch the movie Toy Story in English? Tell us your choice in the comments below. Let's share our favorite recommendations with each other.
Thank you so much for tuning in today.
Until next time, take care and happy listening. Bye!